All right, welcome everyone. Can you all see thumbs up if you can see the screen share? Awesome, great. Can't see everybody on here. Just want to thank you all for coming to our February Be Learning Lunch. Just a few reminders before we get started. We will be recording this session and posting it on our YouTube channel within about a week, probably a few days. And when you're not speaking, keep your microphones muted so it's a better listening experience for everyone. And if you have a chance, feel free to rename yourself in Zoom with your name, your pronouns, and what organization you're with. That way we can kind of all see who's on the call. And the way you do that is you go to your little window, there's 3 dots. If you hover over yourself and you can say rename. So if you have any questions throughout, feel free to put them in the chat. Karen and I will be watching the chat, or when prompted, we'll have a couple times to ask questions. Feel free to unmute, or you can email us and we'll be pasting our email in the chat too. So you're here, if you're here for the February Be Learning event, brought to you by B Local PDX, and host had helped presented with Avenue Agency. We're here to talk about B Corp Month and marketing as a B Corp. For those of you that aren't familiar, certified B corporations are for-profit companies that use the power of business to build a more inclusive and sustainable economy. And B Local PDX is our local community here in the greater Portland area that helps businesses and people act on their purpose to achieve socioeconomic and environmental impact through meaningful relationships. And this lunch today is just one of the services that we provide to connect for growth opportunities, certification support, and collaboration around social and environmental impact. I'm Rose Lavelle. I'm the Learning Chair on the B Local PDX board. And it looks like we have a few other board members here. So I'd love it if you are comfortable, just unmuting yourself and giving a quick intro.
Hi everyone, I'm Karen Lichtig, she, her pronouns, and I am also on the B Local PDX board as well as a consultant with B Lab.
Hey everyone, I'm Tia Sherry. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a brand new board member for B Local PDX. So excited to join. And my full-time job is I am Director of Development for the Urban League of Portland.
Hi everyone, I'm Chinoa Philibom with New Seasons Market. I'm also on the board. I'm the engagement chair. Nice to see everybody here.
I work for Northwest Permanente, and I am also a brand new B Local PDX board member.
Awesome. Thanks, board members, for doing a quick intro. And we're the people you should talk to if you have any questions about B Corp or the community or the events that we provide. So thank you. So today we will be, I just want to give you an overview of what we're looking at today for today's event. We're going to start with some announcements. So if you have any community announcements in mind, start thinking of those. Then we're going to honor and acknowledge Black History Month, it being February and all. And in preparation for B Corp Month next month in March, we're going to be sharing an overview of the B Corp Month toolkit from B Lab US and Canada, as well as a PDX version of some assets. And after we share about the toolkit, we have Anna Medill and Reed Emerson from Avenue Agency, a B Corp digital marketing agency here in Portland. And then at the end, we will wrap up with some optional time to break out in breakout groups to do some networking and connection. So feel free to stay on. We'll probably stay a little longer than the hour if you would like to stay to connect. All right, so, a little late on the slides here, but so now's the time for some community announcements. So is your organization hiring? Are there any events coming up that we should all know about? Feel free to unmute and announce out loud or paste in the chat.
Hi all, my name's Stephanie, she, her. I work for Living Room Realty and we are hiring a membership services coordinator You can find the job posting on livingroomre.com. I'll put it in the chat too.
A little announcement, if you're subscribed to the B Local PDX newsletter, you may have seen this, but we have a request for proposal out for a build organizer. This is a paid position, so we've extended the deadline to March 1st. So please, please apply if you're interested, or send it along to other folks if you know that they might be interested in helping us host a virtual build in 2021. And kind of along the same veins, there will be a call soon out for a volunteer committee for the build 2021. So keep an eye out if you're interested, if you want to volunteer and be a part of making that awesome event. Also, I'll post this in the chat, but if you have an idea for one of these Be Learning lunches, if you want to speak, if you know someone who speaks, or if you just want to, if you just have an idea of what we should, type of event we should host, please, we have a request for proposals form. So please fill that out or email us. And are there any other community announcements before we move forward?
I have one.
Go for it.
Hi, everyone. Good to see everyone. I'm Aaron Fish with Wanderwell Travel Insurance, but I'm also helping to spearhead the Solarize campaign, which was actually brought about by a few B Corps in concert with Solar Oregon. And I mentioned it last month at our meeting, and we are officially launching publicly the survey today. So, you know, this campaign is going to result in a large amount of solar being installed, and we're trying to directly lower the energy costs for underserved communities and impact-driven businesses and affiliated nonprofits in our area and across the state through community solar projects and co-op solar projects. So we have a survey. We have 3 awesome sponsors of the survey: Hopworks, Nosa Familia, and Brew Doctor. And so everyone who does complete the survey will get to choose between a free kombucha or free coffee and tea. And then we'll have 3 grand prizes of $50 to Hopworks. So we're really interested in getting some solid feedback and interest about whether your company or a nonprofit or affiliated companies are interested in hosting, investing in, or subscribing to these solar projects. I'll put the link in the chat, and then hopefully we'll be able to put an announcement out in the newsletter. Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. All right. Well, if you have any announcements that you think of later throughout the event, just paste them in the chat. We'll try to share with you in the kind of the wrap-up email. All right, so next we want to, since it is February, we want to, oops, there we go. We want to acknowledge and honor Black History Month. So I wanted to take a few minutes to share a few considerations and things that you can do personally or with your company to celebrate. So up here on the slide, you can see there's a few resources from B Lab. There is an article about B Lab taking a stand, a commitment to justice and anti-racism, and an invitation for businesses to take action. There's a great quote here. I'll let you read it, but basically listen to BIPOC voices, let Black women lead, give up some power because having to fight for it all the time is really exhausting. Also link here, anti-racism resources compiled by the team at B Lab. And then a second link that goes a little bit more into detail on the more books, podcasts, and movies that you can watch. Also shop Black-owned businesses. You'll see a list here of B Lab's directory of Black-owned B Corps. Also another resource, Buy Black, a platform to find and support Black-owned businesses. And a link to Mercatus's Black-owned business directory if you want to go a little bit more local. And I think Karen's pasting these in the chat. Thank you, Karen. And then lastly, just really take a moment and a step back and examine your organization. You know, this quote here I liked. Basically, Black history should be studied every day and all the time. But this Black History Month, it's an excellent time to shine a spotlight on Black history and pay homage and create more opportunities for learning. Also, one-off offerings like donations or purchases from Black-owned business will not finance the transformative change our communities need. So really look at your purchasing policy. Do you have something explicitly written for your business's purchasing, that you are regularly choosing Black-owned businesses? It's really important to kind of make sure that's kind of baked in as B Corps. It's an important value. And also just ask yourself, how is your organization publicly committed to racial justice? Ask your leadership, what are we doing this month? What are we doing every month? Amplify Black voices, partner with Black-owned companies, and support a charity focused on racial justice. And if you have any recommendations or places to donate, please place us in the chat. We'd love to hear more. So with that, before we move into the B Corp Month toolkit, we want to have small breakout groups, just so you all have a chance to kind of interact in groups of 2 or 3 with one another. So you can introduce yourself, share your name, organization, and role, and you can talk about how are you personally or how is your company honoring Black History Month. All right, welcome back, everyone. All right, next up, as I get my screen shared, I have Karen share a little bit about the B Corp Month toolkit.
All right, hi everyone. Great to see you all here, and I'm excited to be sharing a little bit about the toolkit for B Corp Month 2021. So we have a brand new campaign in honor of B Corp Month, which is in March. And if anyone was at the event that B Lab hosted, was it last week? You might know a little bit about this already or have seen the emails. But essentially, this is just a little creative preview of what the campaign is about this year. So it's about better business, pretty straightforward, but there are lots of ways to engage with this messaging and a lot of assets that B Lab has put out. So if you haven't taken a look at the toolkit yet, you'll definitely want to dive in. So I'm just going to give a quick overview of what to look out for in the toolkit. So if we could go to the next slide here. So Rose is going to help me, I think, drop some links in the chat here. So the first one is the link to the toolkit itself, where you'll find a longer overview of the toolkit and an overview of the assets and some of the slides that we're going to be looking at here. And on this slide 6 in the toolkit, you'll find a link to the image relay folder where you can find all of the assets that B Lab has put out. And there's a link to the main folder, and then there's also native files. If you are a graphic designer and have access to InDesign or have one on your team, you can really customize these assets to your business and your own messaging. So those links are there in the chat, and we'll go to the next slide. So this is just what the assets folder looks like here. On the left, there is actually there's a larger folder that B Lab has that's really useful. So I recommend definitely bookmarking this link. It's the active assets folder. So essentially any kind of B Corp branding or campaigns that are actively running, including some kind of like retail type promotions, just the B Corp logos, B Local branding. There's like an explainer video in there, and also some inspiration for how to engage with the B Corp branding. You'll find in that active assets folder. And then on the right there is what you'll see when you click into the B Corp Month 2021 campaign folder. All right, we'll go to the next slide. All right, so this is just a little bit more about how to customize the assets. So you can see, you can have the standalone little better business tag that you can use to put on your own branding or imagery if you want to do that, or you can download just the ready to go files there. There's really, I don't know how many, there's a lot of assets in here. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use these assets. And then make sure you notice some of them are individual files as well as folders. So click through and you'll see into all the different folders for things like the native files. And there's different formats for like LinkedIn, Facebook, social media, various sizes so that you can post it on all of your different channels. And we'll go to the next slide. All right, and then just a couple more helpful reminders. So make sure that you're checking your B Corp logo. This is actually kind of interesting. A few years ago, B Corporation changed the B Corp logo just a tiny bit. And if you're in the know, sometimes if you see the B Corp logo out in the wild, you'll notice the line actually got moved above the corporation. So just make sure that you're using the current one that was updated in 2018, and you can download those in the active assets folder. I see a lot out in the world that haven't raised the bar yet. And then over there on the right, you'll also see, again, more about the active assets folder that and how you can engage with that. All right, we'll go to the next slide. Okay, and then this view here is about the B Corp Month timeline. So really, B Corp Month is about elevating the B Corp brand generally. And this year is actually the first year that B Corp Month is a global campaign. So B Lab pretty recently has kind of reformatted its structure. So there's an organization called B Lab Global, and they led the campaign this year. So if you work for a company that has branches or partners in other parts of the world, like Australia or South America or Europe, they should all be using the same campaign and type of assets. So it's all standardized. Each global partner region may have slightly tweaked their assets. So the toolkit that we have linked is the US and Canada toolkit. And there is a timeline here for different ways to engage as a community throughout the month. So as I mentioned, on February 12th, we held a webinar called Let's Collab, and it had a really great presentation about B Corp Month and the toolkit, as well as some breakout groups with ways to collaborate with other B Corps. If you did miss that event, it's totally okay. You can watch the recording and also access some information about how to partner with other B Corps and connect with other B Corps as well on the B Hive if you are working for a certified B Corporation right now. And then this is just the items in yellow there are just suggested internal timelines for you to engage with your HR and marketing teams internally, prepping your content, and getting ready to launch. So that's kind of where we are right now, getting ready to launch for March 1st, which is what will be the opening thunderclap. So this is really the big launch of B Corp Month, where all of us should be kind of changing our profiles and putting out a social media post. You can put up your Facebook cover profile, whether it's for your brand or your company or for your personal pages as well. There are assets within the toolkit for you to engage personally as a B Corp employee. And then just a reminder, March 8th is International Women's Day. And then March 19th, we have our employee thunderclap. So really trying to get employees really engaged in B Corp Month and putting the message out there, maybe making a post about why you're proud to work for a B Corp. And there is an event on March 19th as well that we would love for you to share with your teams especially. And this event is really designed for people who aren't really engaged very much right now in the B Corp community. Maybe they don't know exactly what being a B Corp means. But probably do work for one. So for example, Chenoa at New Seasons may want to forward an email about this event to the staff at New Seasons about being engaged in the B Corp community and what it means to work for a B Corp. So definitely check out the link to that event and register. It is open to anyone. So even if you are really more engaged, feel free to attend. And then March 31st is the closing thunderclap. So make some final posts about your pride in being a B Corp. I'll go to the next slide. All right, so just kind of to recap here, 3 basic steps for engaging in B Corp Month. Number 1, thunderclap with us. So really hone in on those key dates that we identified, March 1st, the 19th, and the 31st, to put out your social media posts at kind of a bare minimum of engaging and, you know, using those assets to put up on your profiles. The second one is collaborate. We really encourage you to get in touch with other B Corps and elevate each other. You know, when the rising tide lifts all boats, and, you know, we're better business together, not separately. So definitely reach out to other B Corps, maybe highlight 1 or 2 other companies that you really admire locally or globally. And, you know, just educate your followers on what it means to be a B Corp. And then third, just share as much as you can. Share. This is all about educating, like I said, the community about what better business means, what being a B Corp means, and share it in a way that feels authentic to you. So if definitely look through the assets in the toolkit. There's a lot of different copy examples and messaging types. So find the one that really speaks to you. And if there isn't one that is really perfect for you, feel free to customize it on your own. And if you need help with that or ideas, feel free to reach out to us and we can try to help you there. And we'll go to the next slide, finally, I think. So lastly, I just wanted to give a little plug. We did do some little customizations of these assets if you want to also show your B Local PDX pride. So we just took a few of the assets here and added the B Local PDX logo. So if you want to engage and show your commitment to the local B Corp community, we would definitely invite you to use these assets. We have a blog post up on blocalpdx.com where you can find those. And you can also download or just grab the B Local PDX logo and put it on any of the assets. We didn't do it for all of them, just kind of some key ones. So feel free to use those images and put them up on your personal or professional and company profiles. All right, and I think that is the end of my piece. And I don't know how we're doing on time, but happy to take questions or answer them in the chat.
It looks like someone, Dan has a raised hand. Do you want to ask your question, Dan?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if we're free to promote, even though we're not yet certified.
Yes, anyone can promote B Corp Month and B Corps. There actually are some assets in the folder for fans of B Corps. So most of the assets are for certified B Corporations, but there is a folder where you'll find some assets that say things like I love B Corps or I'm a fan of B Corps. So we definitely encourage you primarily to use those, and not saying that you are a B Corp, but you could say that you're on the journey to becoming a B Corp and that you're a fan of B Corps.
Thank you.
All right. Well, if you do have any further questions, feel free to email us at info@blocalpdx.com, or we might have some time at the end to answer more questions about the B Corp Month toolkit. So without further ado, I want to welcome Avenue. Reed Emerson is here and is a digital strategist and account manager at Avenue. And Anna Medill is a founder and CEO of Avenue. So thank you so much for being here today, and I'll pass it over to you.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, so it might take 1 second here. All right, can everyone see that? Awesome. All right, well, thank you again for having us. It's such an honor to be presenting on behalf of B Local PDX. and our amazing community of B Corps. And we're looking forward to talking with all of you about the future of a brand promise and how we can elevate the impact of B Corps together through B Corp Month. So again, thank you, Rose, for the introductions. We won't spend too much time here, but hi, everyone. I'm Anna Medill, the founder and CEO of Avenue. And with me today is Reed Emerson, our digital strategist. So we'll jump right in. And Karen, you did such an awesome job sharing the B Corp Month assets. And as we prepare to kick off B Corp Month, it's been a reminder to me personally that B Corps are really helping to redefine what the brand promise of the future should be and what better business really looks like. So what is a brand promise and how do values and action and impact come into play? I've personally drawn inspiration from the work that is being done by B Corps like us and like all of you around the globe to inform what I believe is the future of a brand promise. And I really believe that, gone are the days of the sort of shiny, feel-good cause marketing campaigns, which I believe are now a prerequisite for any company. And here to stay are the days where brands are held accountable by their customers, by their employees, to living those values and walking the talk through their actions and committing to impact every single day. And again, I also believe that there's a better way for brands to do business. And I think the Better Business theme for B Corp Month is perfect for consumers to learn how to use their dollars to invest in the future. Education is really important. There's more to capitalism than just making a profit, and especially if you care about doing the right thing and investing in something bigger than yourself. And that's really where I think what B Corps are all about. And it's the bar for other companies, for other brands, and for B Corps to reach for. So simply put, a brand promise is a value or an experience that a customer can expect to receive every single time they buy from or engage with your company. And the promise really seeks to differentiate one brand from the next and elevate a company above competitors. And it becomes the promise that is synonymous with the organization's identity over time. And the question is really, is that enough? And I think, again, the bar has really been raised from cause marketing that you may and probably still see many brands and companies doing across the board for certain national holidays or something like that. But consumer expectations really demand now that a brand and its employees, its stakeholders live and breathe and operationalize the values that are being advocated for across all functions of their business. And really that's where B Corps come in. And I believe that we have the structure in place through the certification process and the ability and the intentional commitment to live and operationalize the people, planet, and profit values through our own action. So while most of us B Corps understand this concept, a brand is not, or a brand promise is not, or no longer is a tagline, a logo, or a trademark. We're probably familiar with that. But while these brand elements may have been enough to convince consumers, employees, and partners 10 or 20 years ago, it's definitely no longer enough. And looking at it another way, so only 51 of the original Fortune 500 companies remain today. So a lot of what used to work, the revered logo or tagline or trademark and the brand promise of before really helped these companies succeed. But I believe they'll be hard pressed to evolve into the future if they want to remain on that list in 10 years from now. So a brand promise of today, this is really what I feel like will harken back to sort of a brand that we're all familiar with, Patagonia. And as the founder, Yvonne Chouinard said, Patagonia is in the business to save our home planet. So if that's not a BHAG or a big, hairy, audacious goal, I'm not sure what is. But we'll see on the next slide, just to kind of share and put a little bit more context around this, that Patagonia has really modeled this promise to their customers, employees, and partners, and really the global population at large by living their brand promise through their own values, their action, and impact. So if you take a look at Patagonia's core values, it's 1, build the best product, 2, cause no unnecessary harm, use business to protect nature, and not bound by convention. So those clearly align with their commitment to saving our home planet. Beyond that, you're probably familiar that they guarantee everything they make. You can buy and trade and fix your gear through Wornwear, pledging 1% of sales to the preservation and restoration of the natural environment. The example that I've shared here, I just love this. In one of their most noteworthy campaigns, they published ads in the New York Times with one of their best-selling jackets, encouraging consumers not to buy the jacket because they believe so deeply, and I believe this is around Black Friday, because they believe so deeply in sustainability and purposeful consumption that they encourage the population not to buy from them if they didn't actually need the product. So B Corps like Patagonia and our B Local PDX community are leading the movement of inspired and purpose-driven companies. And I think that we are leading with our values. We're taking action and making an impact. And I think B Corp Month will really enable us to do that even further. And the best brands of today really get this values, action, and impact framework. And you can see kind of the common denominator here. And I apologize that I could not fit all 130 plus B Corp logos from the B Local community on here. So there's just a small handful here, but all B Corps here. And really customers are inherently attracted to and loyal to brands that are purpose-driven. And because of that, purpose-driven brands like B Corps, like all of us, have a really unique opportunity to create a stronger, more enduring emotional connection with our customers. And a bonus for us, our values and the way that we do business really are magnetic to future talent, probably future clients and partners. And we are, B Corps are the ultimate example of companies that are leading the movement of businesses as a force for good. So in short, a brand promise is not only what a consumer can expect from a brand every time they interact with it, but it's a next level commitment to the values, the action, and positive impact that will inspire that trust and loyalty. So my husband and I visited Patagonia in 2019, and while the spires in the background of this photo, not exactly the same as the ones that inspired the original Patagonia logo, but the experience has really served as a reminder to me of the good that we can all do in the world by being a better business. And at the end of the day, I really believe that B Corps stand for something. And now is the time for just the B Local PDX community to lead from the front and educate our customers, employees, and partners, because B Corp Month is coming up, and demonstrating that it is possible to live your values and actions and through the purchases and choices that we make. So while B Corps are better businesses and are leading the way, it will also be up to the employees and the customers that we can inspire to help us continue to amplify and become champions of the B Corp movement. So really briefly, I'll just share how values and action and impact have manifested themselves at Avenue, just to provide a little bit more context of how I think this can really be operationalized across any of our B Corps and businesses in the B Local PDX community. But I believe, as I've mentioned, that the future of a brand promise is in the company's ability to go beyond the status quo, lean into living our values and taking consistent action that leads to meaningful impact. And the brands who are able to do this, all of you, will reap the benefits. And as consumers become more educated, though, about the power of their dollar, and I think we can help in that through B Corp Month and other education and sharing that we can do, B Corps can continue to build awareness and model the collective power that buying with a purpose has on our society. So as an example, just core values have really guided us in our internal and external communication with team members and our clients and our partners, the work that we do, and our culture and business operations. Over the past 5 years, it's allowed us to go from working with 0 B Corps and maybe a couple of purpose-driven companies to 86% of our clients now are aligned with our mission and vision, values, B Corps, credit unions, women and BIPOC-owned businesses, and nonprofits. Like many of you, an example of action for us extends into the work we do in the community. So this often shows up for us in the form of pro bono digital marketing services for nonprofits. 1.6% of our annual revenue last year is donated to local nonprofits as well. And then finally, impact. And I think the B Corp certification process alone just ensures that we're all holding ourselves accountable to continued improvement of our impact. But an example for us is just, we aspire to work and elevate historically underrepresented businesses through our pro bono digital marketing and consulting services, which has really been one of the conduits to impact for us. So we have an awesome opportunity in front of us. B Corp Month is right around the corner. And we really aspire to a world in which more companies are using business as a force for good, where more companies are able to work for companies, where more employees are able to work for companies that are putting purpose ahead of profit, and where more consumers are using their dollars to support products and services that are making a difference. So with B Corp Month, I think our B Local PDX community has the opportunity to help amplify and signal boost messaging to create awareness around B Corp Month with all of the assets that Karen shared earlier, and with the goal to really help elevate B Corp or B Corps as a household name so that more people can buy from and work for and or become B Corps themselves. So we're going to provide some best practices, tools, and tips to help you spread the word via your own company's social channels and the B Corp toolkit. So with that, I'm going to actually hand it over to Reed.
Thanks, Anna. So we covered what the future of a brand promise is, and now we're going to outline social media best practices to amplify your brand promise and B Corp Month messaging. Social media acts as a megaphone for your brand message and story. And this is why social media is going to be the best platform to amplify B Corp Month so we can work together to make it a household name. It's one thing to establish your brand promise and message. You also need to make sure the right people hear it and know it. If done right, social media is a tool that allows you to generate brand awareness and get in front of new and targeted audiences, especially for B Corp Month. It also is a pathway to developing long-lasting relationships that will in turn grow your mission and the B movement. That's why we've covered the top 5 best practices that will nurture your social presence for maximum visibility and quality engagement with your mission and B Corp Month in mind. These best practices are: develop content pillars, plan ahead, think visually, engage, and track and optimize. So first is content pillars. So in planning for B Corp Month, we started with the B Corp Month timeline, which we'll showcase on the next slide, and then considered our content pillars and how the B Corp Month messaging fits into our broader brand story and mission. Content pillars, or sometimes known as content categories or content buckets, are 3 to 5 topics or themes your brand will consistently discuss, amplify, and create content for on social media. At Avenue, we develop and implement content pillars for all of our social media clients. Content pillars help you quantify your brand message and ensure that the content going out into the world effectively communicates your brand promise to your target audience. This allows you to cover all the bases of your brand to tell a holistic and engaging story. We recommend implementing 3 to 5 content pillars that tell a bird's eye view of your company's story. Another reason why content pillars for social are so important: they make your planning for content so much easier. Rather than scrambling to create last-minute posts, you can use your content pillars to strategically build your content calendar and plan ahead. So to develop your company's content pillars, break down the top 3 to 5 key aspects of your company's mission. For example, at Avenue, we've broken down our content pillars to our values, our team, and education. Being a B Corp and female and minority-led company, we hold our values close to our heart. When you work with Avenue, you're choosing to use business as a force for good. And we highlight that on our social media through content that showcases information and promotion about being a B Corp and the impact of the B movement, and content that uplifts diversity, equity, and inclusion. So for us, B Corp Month assets fit perfectly into this content pillar. Our next content pillar is showcasing our team. We value the unique expertise our team members bring to Avenue and aim to develop long-lasting, authentic relationships with our future clients, future team members, and our digital community. That way, when a potential client or a potential future team member lands on our social media, they can have a sense for who we are and if we'd be a good fit for partnership. The last pillar is education. At Avenue, we believe it's important that not only are our clients informed of the latest digital marketing trends, but also our broader community. Content within this pillar provides educational resources for our followers and digital community that they can then utilize for their own digital marketing strategies. So you'll see when you put these three pillars together, they provide a broad story around Avenue's mission, purpose, and values, and enable us to authentically promote B Corp Month. So here's the B Corp Month timeline I had mentioned on the previous slide. And this will help establish your posting cadence and how the B Corp Month messaging fits into your broader brand story and mission. So social platforms actually prefer and favor accounts that show up consistently. So do your users. So whether it's on Instagram or LinkedIn, being a reliable source for valuable content will greatly impact the reach that you have. So for B Corp Month, it'll be important to plan ahead, as planning ahead with your content is the optimal way to maintain this consistency. The best way to do this is through a social calendar and then utilizing a social media scheduler. Social schedulers allow you to upload and schedule your social media content from anywhere to a week to a month or more in advance. Once it's scheduled, you won't have to worry about uploading your posts manually to each social media platform. There are plenty of great social scheduler tools like the ones highlighted here that also feature some really robust social media analytics. You can also utilize the free in-platform scheduling within Facebook for both Facebook and Instagram, or TweetDeck for your Twitter content. The next is to think visually. So imagery and videos are the first thing users will see when scrolling their social feeds. It's important that your social content draws users in through visual design. This means high quality on-brand creative assets, which is why the B Corp Month 2021 toolkit is so great, because it provides your team with high quality shareable assets that can be implemented across all of your social channels. Thinking visually also means considering the visual presentation of your brand on social. So when folks land on your Instagram feed, what visual story is being told? Are your visual assets formatted to the correct size for each social channel and platform? Is the content utilizing your company's unique branding properly? Without capturing your users through visuals, you have the potential of losing the opportunity to effectively communicate your message. The next, I think this is my favorite, and if there's anything you take away from this, it's to engage, engage, and engage. So once you've posted the B Corp Month assets, your job isn't done yet. Social media's main function is for users to connect with their friends, family, and social circles. And just because you're running a business account doesn't mean that your goals should be any different. Social media algorithms favor active and engaged profiles. So to see maximum engagement, it's important to operate on social media organically and authentically. So by following along with your target audience and engaging with their content, you'll be able to form genuine relationships. Here's what we recommend. Intentionally carve out time to respond to comments left on your posts. Follow back your most engaged audience members. So these are folks who are consistently showing up, liking, commenting, and engaging on your content. Comment and engage on your followers' posts. Leave thoughtful comments on your followers' posts. Show them that you're human and their connection with you and your brand or business is a two-way relationship. Follow and utilize the hashtags your target audience is using. So for B Corp Month, it'll be important to utilize hashtag Better Business, hashtag We Are B Corps, hashtag B Corp Month, and then hashtag B Corporation and hashtag B Corp. You'll also want to interact with tagged content. So if your users are tagging you in a post or utilizing your brand's hashtag, you don't want to lose the opportunity to acknowledge the time that it took them to shout out your company or brand. So share your appreciation and leave a comment and share their photo across your channels with permission, of course. And finally, you're going to want to ask and listen up. So once you've built this two-way relationship with your followers, ask them for feedback. What kind of content do they want to see from you? Do they have product ideas? What support do they need? This tactic is a win-to-win. Win-win. Your business is able to hear directly from your customers, clients, and members, while also ensuring that your future content is strategically shaped around your followers' wants and needs. All right, so you've planned, you've posted, and you've engaged in B Corp Month, but your social process doesn't end there. You'll want this process to be ongoing to continue in helping spread the word beyond B Corp Month. So now is the time to track and optimize your channels. At Avenue, we recommend tracking the success of your social platforms at least monthly. This means capturing your follower net increase or loss, engagement rate, impressions, reach, top and lowest performing content, and any key conversions like purchases, leads, downloads, and traffic from social. Through this data, your team will be able to assess what type of content is performing well and the areas in need of optimization. And remember, establish valuable metrics. So as we talk today about the future of a brand promise, I find it important to mention while follower count can be an enticing growth metric, it doesn't always provide your team with the full story. Having tons of followers with little to no engagement won't help bolster your brand promise and movement. So aim to grow sustainably and intentionally by building genuine relationships.
Awesome. Thanks, Reed. As we wrap up, I just, remember that this is going to be a collective effort on behalf of all of us in the B Local community. And it's, our belief that we can invest our resources in making businesses better, more compassionate, and creating a more inclusive, equitable, and regenerative economy together. So you can help us spread the message. The work starts with the brand promise and a commitment to the greater good, and really ends with our own action and the elevation of our collective voice as a community. And as you all know, when you buy from, work for, work with B Corps, you're voting for the world you want to live in. And the more people we can collectively educate about B Corps through B Corp Month, the greater our future potential impact will be. So together we can change the world. Join us. And thank you.